Hello, and welcome to Art Minutes. I'm Patricia Tomlinson, curator at the Appleton Museum of Art. Today, I would like to introduce you to a print by celebrated artist Robert Rauschenberg. It is Untitled, and it was created in 1972. Let's take a closer look. The first impression of this piece is that it's very collage-like. There are various images, some more recognizable than others, placed around the picture plane. There are big swaths of color, blue, yellow, and red, in addition to a bit of black on the upper left-hand side. And there are also some pieces of what looks to be masking tape, delineating some of the areas of this composition as well. The more easy to read images are an oil derrick. There are various people. One is in the middle. Two people are on bicycles under the oil derrick. On the lower left-hand side, there appears to be an eagle or some type of bird of prey about to land. And on the lower right-hand side, there is a telephone. Rauschenberg's art is very much a reflection of the times in which it was made. He often used images from magazines, from advertising, and other cultural landmarks that really cement different pieces of his in time and place. And I feel that this one is no different. As I mentioned, it was created in 1972, and that is a time when offshore oil production was really taking off, in addition to a specific edition of National Geographic that you can see on the upper right-hand side that has been painted yellow. This was an expose in National Geographic magazine that explored a cultural group of people in the rainforest that were thought to have previously had little or no contact with the outside world. So therefore, their technologies harkened back to a much earlier time. Most of their tools were stone. They used wood implements, things like that. So that was incidentally later debunked by other anthropologists that went into the area. But this was a really seminal piece in National Geographic, and he chose to highlight that in his artwork too. In addition, the Vietnam War was still going on, and in the extreme lower left-hand side, you see a group of soldiers with big, heavy rucksacks on their backs and rifles walking in a line off into the distance. So this very well could have been an image from a magazine or a newspaper of soldiers in Vietnam. Rauschenberg himself is also very fascinating. He grew up very humbly in Port Arthur, Texas, was drafted into the military during World War II, and then while he was stationed in San Diego, went to the Huntington Library and really kind of discovered art for the first time. It seems hard to believe, but he himself said that he had never really had much exposure to art before that instance. That showed him not only the importance of art, but that a person could be a professional artist. And that really lit a spark in him. He then went on to, of course, create his fabulous career that we all know about so well. But he also studied under other great artists such as Joseph Albers. He was good friends with Cy Twombly. So he really was in the right place at the right time to bring about artistic change, be influenced by some great artists, also influence some great artists. So his career was really fascinating. In the 1950s, he started creating the art for which he is probably best known. He called them his combines, and they were a combination of 2D and 3D artwork. So, for example, he would have a painting lying on the floor, and on top of that, he would have three-dimensional objects. So he was trying to really break the barriers and come up with an amalgam of 2 and 3D art that was a whole new thing. Eventually, he moved to Captiva, Florida, and set up his home and studio there. And after a very, very prosperous career, he had exhibitions at almost every major museum in the United States and abroad as well. He had commissions for the Vatican. In the early 2000s, he sadly suffered a stroke that paralyzed a portion of his body, but he kept on making art and was not to be deterred by that. In 2008, he passed away on his beloved Captiva Island after a phenomenal career and is now considered one of the greatest artists of the 20th century. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to sharing more Art Minutes with you soon. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.